Yo YouTubers, you might not recognise me in monochrome. I thought I'd do a bit of a cinema noir, like noir, black and white. You don't see many black and white videos on YouTube, do you guys, unless it's some kind of historical footage. So just for a change, I thought I'd do a speech. It's a normal speech, guys, where I'm just using my camera, my video camera, and no, it's a quick speech this really. Well, I think it's going to be quite a long one, to be honest, but I don't need any illustrations or pictures in this particular speech, so I can just use my camera. And just for the change, it's in black and white. And you can't see all the blotches and that on my skin and that. Right guys, this speech is about standards. And in particular, racialism, the issue of racialism these days, and the issue of race wars, which are being encouraged amongst people. I've seen some silly stuff lately. I'd say fascism is the word, right? Now, I mean, I'm not ashamed to say, like, guys, I'm not perfect. In case you haven't noticed, like, I'm not perfect, right? I can be smelly, trampy, I can wear the same clothes for days on end. I'm not the kind of person that showers every single day. Not because I'm dirty, it's because I can't afford to keep up with the washing. I haven't actually got a washing machine, and so I actually hand wash my clothes at the moment. We've got a communal laundrette in this block of flats, right, guys? But the last time I went there, I'd done all my washing, and then when I put all my washing in the tumble dryer, the coins, it wouldn't accept the tokens. So I had to throw loads of washing away because I had nowhere to hang it, guys. I had to throw it down the chute. It was all like, my clothes, they're like, sort of Oxfam standard, if you know what I mean. But anyway, this is what the whole point of the speech is. It's all about standards, fascism and racialism that I'm seeing popping up in today's world. It really does my head in. Now, I'm not perfect, right, guys? Now, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, man. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. Like, if we're slightly overweight, I don't know, all these things. If your skin's not right, or this is not right, you're some kind of alien, or it's bordering on, when the Nazis used to separate people into camps because they were this, that, or the other. It's not right, in my opinion. That kind of judgmental attitude towards others, it's just not my way of doing things. I'm just like a normal person. I'll have a laugh at something, someone walks past peculiar looking or whatever, go, whoa, look at that, like, oh. But I don't judge people by the way they look. I don't take the piss out of people by the way they look and all that kind of stuff, right? In the world of models, for example, the way they've got the girls all being really skinny, like, like twigs, so that they can impress a camera lens, or people reading the magazine, or people watching an advert on TV, they get airbrushed and all that kinds of stuff. Now, to me, a chick or a woman is just a woman, yeah, and I suppose it's like in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? You get me, like, and I don't judge a book by its cover, do you understand that? I'm kind of open-minded about things, but I've noticed lately, this day and age, like, all the guys are like fussy about how the women look, and all the women are fussy about how the guys look, do you understand? Like I've always seen myself as a fat slob, do you understand, folks? Like, I'm not like obese or nothing, like, I mean, I'll sort of shamelessly, like, just alter the screen, like, I'll shamelessly show people, like, I've got quite a bit of podge there, guys, you know what I mean? I've got a big pair of tits and everything. I've got tits and podgy and that, like, right. Whew. That doesn't hurt, do you know what I mean? That didn't hurt. It's like, I'm fat, I don't really care, right? And anyone who's watching this video who might be overweight, right? What difference does it make? When, like, I talk to people, I talk to the soul, I don't talk to the flesh. Don't talk to people here, mate. You'll go like, Alright, well, how's it going, mate? Are you alright? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, whoa, look at the state of your bed. You know what I'm saying, guys, right? I've never really cared. Anyone who knows me from years ago, right, guys? I mean, I used to go boxing when I was younger. I had to stop that because a paedophile wanted to look down my shorts, right? I used to play football a lot. I had to stop that because the guys controlling all the local football clubs or whatever were like boycotting me and, you know, making me, as I've told in some of my speeches. So I was a keep fit fanatic when I was younger, guys. I used to be playing football as much as I could. I used to be out playing football in the gymnasium, 5-a-side, or in the park every Sunday, always playing football, right? And I used to run me fucking ass off throughout the game, and I used to actually get into it and that, get stuck in and that, like. But it wasn't an issue of keeping fit and looking good and that, like. I never went weight training. I went weight training once in my life, right, guys, while my brother and all my friends all around me were all doing this, you know, all going to the weights and that, they were all getting muscly. Turned out when we were all playing football in the park, they were all wearing vests instead of football kits. You know, because they want to... Now, that's vanity, isn't it, right, guys? You've got to be honest with yourselves. Anyone who's watching this video who might have been included in that, like, who used to do weights, looking at yourself in the mirror like that, you know what I mean? That's just pure vanity, in my opinion, right? Now, if I was a sportsman, right, which I was years ago, I'd keep myself in shape, but I'm 52 years old, right, guys? I've had a decent sex life. I'm not really interested in the materialistic world, so I don't want loads of money or nothing like that, right? Why would I give a shit about how I look, right? And that's my advice to anyone out there. Why would you be asked? But you watch the TV, it's constantly bombarding people with, you don't look good enough, you know, your hair's too greasy, you've got spots, you better get some Oxy-10, or whatever it is. It's just down to eating certain foods, you know what I mean? I've noticed in my later years eating a lot of chocolate makes me get spots and zits even when I'm 50 something. So good bit of advice out there for you guys out there. If you want to get rid of spots and that, don't eat chocolate with dairy products in. Little things like that, you know, you just change your diet and that, like. But when all is said and done, right, some of us, like myself, right, shock horror, don't actually give a shit about how we appear to other people, whether it's males or females. Are we smart enough? Are we sexy enough? Fuck all that crap. Sorry about my language, guys, but it's going to be a blunt speech, this, right? Which brings me to the issue. Fascism, it's just pure fascism. Adolf Hitler, your cheekbones aren't high enough. You haven't got the arean look about you, you know what I mean? Your profile. Oh, measure the distance of the nose and the chin and the head and that, like. All that crap, it all comes from Adolf Hitler and all his absolute poppycock bullshit. You know, they were all opium addicts, you know that guy, yeah? Right? All them standards of the women aren't beautiful enough. The Nazis practically invented plastic surgery for cosmetic, you know, not for plastic surgery for if you have an emergency or, you know, to make people look amazing and all that kind of stuff. I don't go for it, you know what I mean? I'd rather be wrinkly old, fat, obese, than be like, I don't know, some kind of superstar that just fades away as time goes by anyway. Like, do you understand? Everyone fades. Like the Bible puts it, like we're all just like a flower that dies eventually, you know what I mean? We all wither and die. What's the point? If you're a sportsman and all that kind of stuff, or a sportswoman, I understand you being like obsessed with your physiques and all that, like. Well, it gets to the point, it's tedious. It's tedious, and I'm watching thingies, adverts on YouTube and stuff, and it says things like, it doesn't just say, are you overweight, do you want to lose weight? It doesn't say things like that, it says, it'll have this like picture of some guy's belly like wobbling, and then it'll say, it's embarrassing. And you know the word embarrassment's got a double S in there, you know. Just get a piece of paper. You know, embarrassment, like, it's got that in the middle of it, you know what I mean? Embarrassment's a double S, like SS, you don't look good enough, like, fuck all them, innit, like, you know. Right, so we're actually embarrassed now, I'm embarrassed. And as you might have seen before, I just put an upload on my channel of panty pads for men, like, if they've got, like, urine leakage. Oh man, I can't believe it, like. Right, which brings me to fascism and racialism, right guys. Now, let's all bear in mind that the royal family, remember the images of the Queen when she was a kid? Doing fascist salutes with the Queen Mother. So, they're not fascists, are they? You know what I mean? What's his name? The Queen's husband. Can't remember his name now. Don't know his name, doesn't matter, does it? But he was accused, he was rude to the Chinese, wasn't he? He said, his comment was, if you hang around with these too long, you'll end up getting slitty-eyed like the rest of them, you know what I mean? Where does that come from? What kind of talk is that for some kind of a sovereign leader or a ruler? It's ridiculous, isn't it? You know, it's fascism. Like, let's just have a flashback to the Queen. I'd put all the clips in the video if I had the time to do it, guys, but I think I might as well just say it, and you know what I'm talking about. But you know, Her Majesty doing that, like, looking like a silly fucking Mussolini, like. Right. So there is fascist undertones in the army and the Queen's, you know, the forces and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, anyone's going to attack me about, like, patsies and radical Muslims and people like that doing stupid things with weapons, like, nah, I'm not accepting it, mate. You know what patsies are? They get, like, you know, they drive them mad to commit a crime. Then the next thing you know, everyone else who's got that same belief is the same as the criminal or the patsy. And we don't fall for that if we're sensible enough, do we? Do you know what I mean? We know the patsies, don't we? So, right, that one's covered there, right, guys? But I've noticed lately, right, and I'm sorry to have to say this, but I speak to people who know me, and I wouldn't say they're my friends or best friends in that sense, but they're close to me or I speak to them quite regularly. And you know what gets me goats is when they look at people from another country and they slur them, you know, it's either niggers, chinks, packies, what's the other one they use? You know, Muslims, whatever it is, they've got a thing to and remember, I'm using those words just as descriptive, guys. I myself do not use those words. I just say Asians, Indians, Pakistani. I don't actually do it, like, do you know what I mean? I don't believe in it, in being racialist or fascist, like, but this is the thing, you see, it's like, I was on a course a while back, not so long ago, a couple of years ago, when I was on a silly course, one of the government courses we were forced upon, all having to sit in a canteen together, all like doing nothing all day, you know, like bricklaying and things for nothing, like for our dole money, for our social security. And an Asian lad started on the course, right, guys, and he was sitting in the canteen just keeping himself to himself, as you would, wouldn't you? You know, because we're all white guys, we're all sitting all around him. All of us could have been fascists for all he knew, do you know what I mean? I wasn't, you know what I mean? But a load of guys all sitting there with, you know, steel toe cap boots on and donkey jackets and that kind of stuff, you know, to do bricklaying and stuff like that, overalls. And this guy walks in and give him his due, he's younger than me, you know what I mean? But he was obviously Asian, yeah, right? He sits down in the canteen and I give him his due for his bottle and everything. He was sitting there surrounded by a load of white guys and he was just untainted, or, you know, he had no fear, he wasn't nervous or nothing. And then he gets up and walks around, goes to the toilet or something, or goes to do something outside the canteen. And one of the lads in the canteen goes, you know, there's always has to be someone in the room, do you know what I mean? It has to be like racialist, do you get me? Like, and he was a sound lad, this lad, this lad who was a white lad, who was obviously one, you know, in the room, like. And sound lad and that, but still got that thing in the brain, you know, the germ in the heads, like. And they all started talking to each other while this lad went out the room, the Asian lad went out the room. He started saying, they all start going like, yeah, you know, like packy this and packy that, like. They all start using the word packy when they're talking to each other, right, guys, yeah. I've tried stressing this to my friends and everything, and I can't stand it, you know what I mean? Because you could be wrong, do you understand? Like, you're actually attacking innocent people, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I actually butted in. I said, listen, lads, you're sitting there saying packy this and packy that, right? How do you know he's from Pakistan, if you don't mind me asking, like? for starters. How do you know he's from Pakistan? He could be from anywhere, Sri Lanka or anywhere. Like, you're just labelling him because of the colour of his skin, you know what I mean? He comes back in the room, that lad, sits down, still not, you know, he wasn't like that, like, oh, I'm surrounded by all these hard white men. You know, he just sits down dead cool, like that, like. And the lad that just reprimanded looks at him and says, if you don't mind me asking, mate, where do you come from? Which is a bit sort of insulting in itself, isn't it, you know what I mean? But he was curious because I just said that to him, you see. And he looks at him and he goes, Bengal. Right. So he's like, immediately, it's like, slap wrist, I'll get on camera, slap wrist, verbally insinuating he's one thing or another. And don't get me wrong, guys, I've gone on against Pakistanis neither. I sort of like, I just don't see the logic, right? I'll go into that in a minute, why it's a load of bull. But the lad immediately looks at him and he says, I come from Bengal, actually. And he goes, oh, you Bengal, yeah. And then he says, well, where do you live? And he said the town where he lived, which was about 5 or 6 miles away from the place where we were in Birkenhead. And he goes, wow, I lived there. I lived there as well, and have you got a car? And the Bengali lad says, yeah, I come here in a car. And the English lad says, will you give me a lift back home later, like? And the Bengali lad says, yeah, I'll give you a lift, no problem. So apparently he takes him home in his car. He's probably aware that he was calling him a Paki and all that stuff earlier on, you know what I mean? Like, but he was still polite to him and he was still courteous enough to give him a lift home. And he'd done that for him a couple of times, as far as I know, because he lived in the same area, picked him up and dropped him off, you know what I mean? So there's your answer, guys. This lad hadn't even done anything, do you know what I mean? He wasn't even doing anything, he wasn't walking around saying, we rule your country and all this stuff. But this is why I know there's like propaganda going on, there's all kinds of dodgy stuff. But you see what I'm saying? That lad found out there he was wrong, but it took me to butt in and say, why are you saying this and that? Why would you... For all you know, he could be from somewhere else, do you know what I mean? And you're judging him and labelling him, you know. He ends up being a nice lad who gave him a lift and all that kind of stuff, yeah, right? So there's an argument there, isn't it, straight away? The white lad's in the wrong, don't care what anyone says. Now, and another case, right? I know people out there, you know, if you're using the internet, right? If you're using social media and stuff like that, have you not heard of a PSYOP? You know what I mean? Do people not aware of what PSYOPs do? They could be army trained or navy or whatever, or intelligence, or even mercenaries, yeah, right? And there's all kinds of stuff going around to make us think that like foreign people are attacking us. Do you understand? So that we're supposed to, not in visual actual evidence, not physically for real, in words on a screen on Twitter or Facebook, or something like that, right? And I'll give you an example. This is how ridiculous it gets, right? Another case, I'm working on when I was canvassing, when I was working on a canvassing job, right? And one of the lads I worked with, he was a sound lad and all that. He was like myself, you know, just one of the scallies from the local area. But he had a bit of he used to go to their marches and things like militants and that kind of stuff, like National Front or British Nationalist Party kind of thing. He had that attitude, right? He was a sound lad, but you know what I mean? He was too radical, do you get me? It never really works for me when they're a bit too over the top. It's just pure racialism or fascism, you know what I mean? It's Hitler all over again, you know what I'm saying? But at one point, he was always on a bloody iPhone, this lad, in the car. Do you understand that? This is my phone, guys. Look, I use this flipping... You know, these working things, you know, the heavy duty jobs, so you like, you know, if you drop it, it won't break, and if you drop it in water, it floats. It's for work and that, but I will not use an iPhone, you know, a smartphone, as we say, right? Because that whole media, 4G and all that business, there's PSYOPs everywhere doing all kinds of stuff, and everyone's like sheep in a pen every time you get your phone out with like that, with the touch screen. not talking about people who use the phones like sort of gadgets, I'm talking about obsessives, right? Their flipping heads are on that screen all day and night. And this lad be sitting in the car when we be taken to different places canvassing, and he'd be going, look what this guy says on Facebook and that, like, and look what this guy says on Facebook and that, like. And at one point, he gets this page off Facebook, and it was a photograph of a toilet with a turd, with poo, human excrement down a toilet, right? A photograph. And it was apparently, this is like, I find it really hard to believe that, anyone would be that senseless, yeah. But it was supposed to have been some Muslim dude, right? And he's saying, this is what we Muslims think of your country. Like the picture of a stool or feces down the toilet, saying, this is what we Muslims think of your country, and that's all you are to us, we're going to take over, right? So the lad in the car, who's obviously been held, like, his head has been, the propaganda or whatever it is driven him to be a fascist or a national front or that kind of attitude, right? It's Nazis, isn't it? It's Nazism, nationalism, like. Well, he flips out going, look at this, like, look at what this Muslim thinks of us, eh? Is that what they think of us, eh? And there's a toilet with a turd down it, like, and it's got this, like, name or whatever. And I just looked at him and I said, how do you know that's actually not done by some English guy sitting in an intelligence room, like army intelligence or whatever, like, with a pair of headphones on, and he's sitting in front of a computer with his fucking, camouflage stuff on, that Her Majesty's service and that, like. How do you know it's not an American dude or a British dude just typing that shit and putting them photos together to make people like you hate foreign people? And he looked at me like, and he was sort of like, he didn't get what I was trying to say, because it hadn't registered in his brain as of yet, like, that there's psyops and what they call cyber warriors and people who are being paid to actually send that stuff out to each other to drive people's emotions and angers, right? Getting people angry. Because if I was in his shoes and I'd been brought up to be like a nationalist, I would have gone like, what's this? Let's just put it this way. Say you were Adolf Hitler and you had an iPhone, and you see now on your iPhone it's like, this is what we think of your white Aryan race, and there's a picture of a turd down the toilet. Hitler would have gone like, we must destroy everybody with a different colour skin. You know what I mean? In his madness, like, it's a psyop. I honestly, I might be wrong, guys. I could be wrong. It could have been actually sent by a Muslim dude, right? But in my opinion, right, if you want my honest opinion, it was just too absurd. I don't think anyone would even think like that. He was cracking up in the car, going mad, going, look what these people think of our country. Hey, look what these people think of our country. And it was like, the Queen herself could have sent that to you, mate. Just to get you, because they are fascists. Remember the Queen like that, like, in black and white. Right. So that's another little point in the argument, right? Which brings me to another point, right? Now, our colour of our skin, I actually look like, I'd call myself a Viking, or kind of, my bloodline or whatever probably came from where there's snow, right, and everywhere's cold. So I don't need the protective pigments in my skin to be able to handle the heat of the sun. Do you understand? Because it kept cool by the snow. My physique and my design or whatever, cold weather or rainy, rain or grey skies or whatever. As you get closer to the equator, don't you ever notice it, folks? People get darker skinned, because they're a bit nearer to the sun. It doesn't mean they're like aliens from another galaxy trying to take over our country. Like, the attitude is just so philistine, it's beyond belief. So you've got an Earth, right, and where the equator is, around the edges, A lot of people are dark skinned, or like Aborigines in Australia. Remember, they were racially raped just like the North American Indians and stuff like that, just because of the way they looked and everything. But the way they look, it's because of the weather. We tried to live like the Aborigines in the outback. We wouldn't stand a chance. We're the aliens in their land, if you know what I mean. We had to have parasols and suntan lotion, or, you know, you've got to get the balance of the whole planet what I'm thinking about, right? So, you know, lesson number one, that's why we've all got different coloured skin, guys, right? You know, duh, you know what I mean? It's where you're born, where you come from. If I died tonight and I was like, instead of going through carrying on through my family line, the Holy Spirit decides, I'll put Bruce in China, or in Pakistan, or Africa. I'll be black, won't I, or whatever colour, do you know what I mean? I won't mind, that's the way it is. The other thing Hitler used to go on about was the colour of our eyes. I've got blue eyes and sort of fair hair, but everything he says is a pile of shit, in my opinion, you know what I mean? Because, like, the pigments in your eyes are designed for the light and whatever goes on in your vicinity. Just like the colour of the skin is designed to handle the heat of the sun or the coolness of the snow. Oh, let's think about this for a while. Let's take a few seconds on that one, like. Right. So, the colour of our skin is because of, you know, of where we were born, or our bloodline, our family line comes from. Like, we come from a cold country, like, it's not rocket science, is it, guys, you know? And do not people go on holiday to Africa, or don't white people go on holiday to South Africa? Or remember, you've got South Africans who think they're like the white supremacist in like, you know, Johannesburg and Cape Town. Right, so all that stuff. Which brings you to the point of the eyes, right? You know when people say, if you got blue eyes, you're an Aryan, like, or, you know, you got brown eyes, this, or... I produced this argument, right? You know what they say, like, these guys, you know, Hitler and his horrible, narrow-minded circle of friends used to judge one another, you know, judge the human race by the colour of their hair and their eyes and that kind of stuff. And I say, well, my point is, you know, all of us have got eyes, like mine are blue, yeah, right. They're black and white at the moment, guys, because I'm in black and white. You know, like, you know, the white of the eyes. If we're all so different, if we're all aliens, or we should be from different, like, planets or something, as the Aryans seem to think, like, why have we all got whites of our eyes, guys? That's my question there, like, is that not the same creator responsible for all of us having that part of our eyeballs that is completely white with little red veins in it, like, you know, the little red bits with the blood, you know, the blood cells, the veins in our eyes, right? Every one of us, no matter where you're from, whether you're from China, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Bengal, anywhere, you're gonna have whites of your eyes too. If you're from, like, Finland or Sweden or Norway, where your skin's going to be fair and your hair's likely to be blonde, what about the colour of the white of the eyes? Isn't that the same colour as the guy in Africa or China or Afghanistan or whatever? Because the colour bit is because of our parents' bloodlines, and you know, when our mummy and daddy have sex, they look into each other's eyes. That's what denotes what colour our eyes end up, you know what I mean? It's a bit, you know, it's another little common sense fact, like, right? Okay, so there's another argument, right, for people who are racially blind, you know, like, duh, I'm sorry, but you're somehow being restricted in your thought wave into thinking that all your problems are down to some guy who's got a corner shop up the road. I'm sorry, but it's ridiculous, guys, you know what I mean? You want to realise how pathetic it is. Which brings you to my final argument, right? The propaganda in this country, the things that might mislead people into thinking that, you know, certain races aren't right or wrong. And a film that I always point out when I'm making this point is it named Shane Meadows, the director Shane Meadows. He's got a film called This Is England, right, guys? You know, like, oh, this is England, oh, this is our land, right? Shane Meadows, the director of that movie, he must have been a skinhead in his past, right? Well, he was, I know that for a fact. You've only got to see the guy, you know, he's got like all the signs of being an old skin, yeah, right, a skinhead. I used to be a punk rocker, guys. I used to hang around with skinheads and stuff, and like, but I never saw eye to eye with their fascist beliefs. Do you get me? Like, they used to wear swastikas and stuff, for crying out loud. Do you get me? Like, I was more into the culture of music and art, breaking down the boundaries of pop music and, you know, Top of the Pops and all that kind of stuff. That's what my input was in the punk world. It wasn't the image and all that. It didn't really matter to me, that, like. But I certainly didn't see eye to eye with the fascist punks, right, guys? I didn't actually ever see eye to eye with that, right? I mean, the drummer of the Dead Kennedys was a black guy. I don't know if anyone noticed that, like. But anyway, in the film This Is England, right, Shane Meadows, the director, he's making a point about how not to be. Do you know what I'm saying? The film is like morally saying that Shane Meadows was probably a skinhead, probably had that kind of racialist attitude or whatever, and something changed his mind or something made him feel uncomfortable. So he was compelled as he got older to make that movie, This Is England, right? Which, if you were intelligent, if you were like educated and actually had a bit of brain in your head, right, you'd watch This Is England and you'd see that it was arguing against the racialist attitude. I mean, you see an Asian looking lad getting beat up at the end of it, don't you, by what's his name, Stephen Graham. He's playing the skinhead who's like psychotic, he's always on amphetamine, he's always off his head, he's like, oh, I had a shit life so I want everyone else to have a shit life too. You know, that attitude, because you had a bad life. And he hears the Asian dude talking about how great his life was and his mum always made sure he had food on the table and all that, and he loses his temper and beats the shite out of the kid, you know what I mean? The film's not telling you to go out and dress up as a skinhead and do exactly what that guy's doing in the film. It's telling you how stupid it is, it's telling you how senseless it is. There's a scene where the kid, you know, the kid in the film who it's about, the kid's probably Shane Meadows himself, I don't know. You know, because during that period, that era when we were all punks and skinheads and stuff, I think Shane Meadows would have been a kid, I'm not sure, like, you know. But I think he's saying, and he puts, you know, in the film, there's a scene where the lad goes, you know, the skinheads all encourage the little kids to go into the shop, owned by an Asian dude, right, guys? And he's going, you packy bastard, yeah, you packy. And the Asian dude's going, hey, get out of my shop. Right. Now, a lot of people, if you were intelligent, you'd watch that and go, oh, that's terrible, you shouldn't do that. If you had any, that's what the director intends, right, guys, you know what I mean? He's not promoting racialism or fascism, he's demoting it, he's saying it's wrong, and the film's meant to cut to the bone and make you think twice about it, like. But if you were thick as pig shit, right, if you were actually a philistine, like, duh, you would watch that movie, right, and you'd dress up as a skinhead and go out to the nearest shop going, yeah, you packy bastard, yeah. Not because you're a racialist or fascist, because you're as thick as fucking pig shit, simple as, do you understand? Right? If you don't understand the political morality of a movie or the political correctness or incorrectness in a film when it's telling you to go against something, not for it, you know. I mean, maybe Shane Meadows in that movie, there's a character, you know, there's a bit where they all get in a car, right? And they all drive to see this British nationalist dude doing a speech. He's a Hitler-type character, being a politician. Hold on, my phone's ringing, and I'll just ignore it, let it ring. But anyway, they all go to see this politician doing his speech. You know, he's you know, the next big thing in the National Front kind of thing, like. And all the skinheads, you know, the guy Stephen Graham, who's the gang leader, you know, the hardest kid, like, you know what I mean? They all go in a car to watch this guy doing a speech, don't they, right? And the guy's talking there going, and if we all get together, everyone, and we fight all these, like, get rid of all these coons and Asians and that out of our society. That's basically what he's getting at in the film, right? Then on the way home in the car, one of the skinheads, one of them is sitting in the back of the car and they're all going like, that was brilliant, that wasn't it, we've got to carry on like that because he's our leader now, that politician. And one of the skinheads just stops them all and goes, I thought he was talking a load of shite myself. And what do? Stephen Graham looks at him and goes, get out the car, and he kick him out the car and he's got to walk home for miles. But that day, that probably could have been Shane Meadows in the movie, the only lad intelligent enough amongst them to think that politician was just being an Adolf Hitler, you know what I mean? Telling them how to think and telling them how to behave, right? So he ends up walking home while everyone just carries on driving in the car. That could have been Shane Meadows in the movie, couldn't it? But I know one thing, Shane Meadows is not a barbarian, bloody philistine. You know, the message he's trying to put across in that movie. And just think about this, right, guys? You know, if you are stupid enough to watch that film and think it's actually real, right, guys? The guy in the shop, the Asian fella, he's an actor. Do you know what I'm saying? like, he's an actor. He would have discussed what to say and what to do in that scene with the little kid as well, you know, the little kid being fascist and racialist. The director, Shane Meadows, would have said, you know, alright, you know, to the Asian dude, and the Asian dude would have gone, okay, so did the Nazis come into the shop and they start calling me a Paki, and I start saying, hey, get out of the shop. They'd have been friends, they'd have all been a team, you know, a crew making a movie, you know, do you not realise that? He's an actor, you know what I mean? They're all actors. And they're reacting what Shane Meadows witnessed as a child or in his younger days, you know, in his teenage years, right? But this is England. How many people out there would watch that film and use it like it's propaganda? You know, there's got to be loads of people, isn't it? But that's the difference. It's another thing. I used to go to discos when I was a punk, right? And there was records, like there was a band called the Dead Kennedys, and they had a song called California Uber Alles, you know, which is like, it was warning about America becoming like the next Third Reich, basically. Now, when I was a punk and I listened to them lyrics, I knew it was against fascism. I naturally knew that, like, because I was thinking, wow, this is different in the world of punks and that, like, because we're all used to the, you know, the skinheads and everything, like, being fascist and that, like. But in that in the disco, in the same disco, I'd be standing there thinking, you know, wow, love the Dead Kennedys. I used to dance to it, you know what I mean? Go, where, California, Uber Alles, but I wasn't like, I didn't see it as Nazi propaganda, do you know what I mean? I had the nous to know that the Dead Kennedys were anti-Nazi, do you know what I mean? They had a song called Nazi Punks Fuck Off, you know what I mean? But in that same disco, there would be other punks, right, to the same record, be like this, California, Uber Alles, California, whoa. They were actually doing Nazi salutes to the song, which is actually telling Nazis they're all knobheads, basically. Or, you know, warning us about America slowly becoming the Fourth Reich, which it sort of did eventually, didn't it? You know, what they were saying and that, like. So there's another little valid point I've got for people, like, I've sort of gone way over here, like, you know what I mean? Well, I was intending to... I thought it was only be 10 minutes or something. So, there's my argument, guys. I can't abide it, you know, because, like, if I look over the road at a person who's got a different colour skin to me, right, and I judge them because of that, and I say, you know, like, this is one of the terms I've heard recently, guys. I've heard someone who you know, we're sitting in a car and we're looking around the streets, and you see a load, like, you know, like you know the way people are, they got, like, you'll see a woman pushing a pram with the flipping bakers on or whatever, and they've got like 3 or 4 kids around them, you know what I mean? Not like a stampede of thousands of people. Do you understand? Like, you look across the road and you see a family walking past, and one of the people will say like, "Oh, look at that! Oh, oh," and the words that they use is, "They're everywhere. They're everywhere." Right now, I'm sitting in my bedroom here, right? Sorry, not my bedroom, in my living room. I've got plenty of space. Look around, like. Do you see, like, families of people marauding and crashing in on my private space here, guys? Look. So it's a full panoramic view of my room, like. You can see my new telly there, guys. Well, it's a monitor, really, but, you know. Look at my new telly. I've got a new monitor. Right. So, you know that the terminology, they're everywhere, right? You know, I can walk out this door, I can go into the hallway where my elevator is. I won't see any Asians bumping into me and that, like, or Muslims or whatever they wanted, whatever these guys are supposed to be arguing about, like. I'll go down the lift, I'll go into the street. It's not like that, like, I can't move. White folks as well, guys, or you know, all like human beings, literally everywhere, all around me, and I can't move. You show me anyone where their own private lives are being invaded or manipulated in any shape or form. So that kind of philistine attitude, it doesn't work with me. People really should learn that I'm actually genuinely anti-fascist. Do you know what I mean? It does my head in. And if I lived, like, let's put it this way, right? If I went into an area and a white guy kicked off on me or hit me or something, I'd smash the fucking head in if I was capable of it, right? If an Asian dude hit me or picked on me for no reason, I'd smash the fucking head in. If anybody, regardless of who, what shape, colour, whatever they are, white, brown, purple, if they're picking on me or trying to harm me, yeah, I'll defend myself, right? But I've been beat up by white guys. I've been battered a few times, right, in my life by gangs and that, like, serious beatings, guys. I had a speech on my old channel about being beat up by a gang of crackheads, right, guys, and they gave me a heart attack and made me piss me pants. Well, I still forgave them. I didn't give a shit. You know, afterwards I was thinking, it's their loss, innit, if they want to be knobheads, like. I did actually have a heart attack. I don't know how the hell I got out of it. I don't know how I survived, but, you know, beat up by a gang of white crackheads. White crackheads. Not brown or Orientals or Asian or Afghani or whatever you want to call it, like, white guys, you know what I mean? And I've been physically beat up a few times by white people, you know what I mean? Beat up severely, to be honest, like. I ain't got a single recollection of any coloured guy, Chinese, whatever, doing anything to me physically. And when I go into shops and things and I say, you know, when there's an Asian dude serving behind the counter, I say, packets of crisps, please. I usually say, please, go, okay, thank you. You know, they don't go, don't come into my shop again, white man. Do you know what I mean? I don't know where is it coming from. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know where you guys are coming from, but that's all I've got to say, guys. I just thought it had to be said, because lately the authorities are spinning people into race wars, right? There's all kinds of propaganda. The example of the dude with the picture of a toilet on his phone, that was just too far-fetched to be believed. I imagine some Yankee fucking agent putting that out, or some, like, you know, MI6 fucking expert at corrupting people's minds. I don't know what they're playing. I don't really care. I take no notice, you know what I mean? And like I say, they're everywhere, you know what I mean? Like, what? Do you see? Thousands of people all like in my living room and they're like, what do you got? We want yours, we want everything you've got, we want everything you've got, bros. Hey, give us your money, everything. Nah, I can't see it myself, lads. You know what I mean? I really need to, you know. And, you know, I had to go to Amsterdam just to sort of be able to get a smoke of, you know, what we'd call like Asian cannabis. Naughty, you know what I mean? I'm a big lad, I'm 52 now. But I had to go all the way to Amsterdam to buy stuff that was like from those countries, you get me? Because no one will let us have it anymore here, like. We've all got to buy British stuff, which I don't like. Doesn't get me, doesn't sort me head out at all. So I've put some valid points there, guys. I mean, everyone watch this and see what you think, but I think a lot of problems in this country stem from, there's a lot of people without a brain in there watching films like This Is England and taking it completely out of context and getting it wrong completely. Stuff like that. It's a very valid, important point. I'd love to hear Shane Meadows talk about it. I've seen him being interviewed and stuff, but he doesn't go into that kind of area. But anyone with any common sense would know that that film is a message against that kind of stuff, you know, the moral, like. And then we've got, like, the Jews and all that kind of stuff. I don't curse any of them, guys. I don't go around attacking people by the colour of their skin and all that. I know that's all propaganda. They could do it to anyone. They could turn any kind of person against any kind of person if they were crafty enough and they manipulated the media and Facebook or, you know, social media and that, like, what's it called? Social network. So anyway, that's my anti-racialist message, guys. I'll never go along with it, you know what I mean? And another thing, alright, let's put it this way, right? This is a message to me family, right? To all the members of my family. If I was obese, right, and I mean seriously obese, right? So say I was like, you know, massive chin and everything, right? Would you stop talking to me? Would you sort of go, I'm not fucking speaking, I'm not talking to Bruce, or, you know, on a ring on the phone, you go, oh, I'm not talking to Bruce, man, he's too fat. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna, like, do you see how absurd it is? Do you judge people, like, by the colour, size, weight, we're not muscly enough? I mean, look at me, mate, I'm not really, I don't even think I've got muscles, I think. There's women out there with bigger muscles than me, like, you know why? Because I'm just a dude, I'm not a sportsman, you know what I mean? Fat in my whitbread. He's got bigger muscles than me, so what? So, I'm too fat, too white. I might smell. I got Bobby Orange. That's B.O., body odour in our language, guys. We say Bobby Orange, B.O. Don't use the right deodorants. Don't use the right skin products and stuff like that. Where's it coming to, guys? It's getting a bit fascist, isn't it? Out there's definitely an encouragement into encouraging people into, like, either racial hatred or subdivides in society, so that everyone, or religious ones is the other one. And there's my favourite belief about religion, guys. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, right? Doesn't matter what colour you are, doesn't matter how devout you are, doesn't matter if the Holy Spirit doesn't like you. You're not going to have an easy time in life. It's simple as, like. So all them folks out there are all enjoying their lives and all happy to be alive, no matter what their denomination is and all that. Like, it is completely irrelevant. That's another matter with me. Like, religion to me means nothing. I just see God as one entity and we're all on the same planet, yeah. Right. But it's not for me to go around going like, oh, look at them, they're Christians, or look at them, they're that, or look at that. I don't even go there, guys. I just like say, you can't help the way you're brought up, you can't help the way you're indoctrinated by your parents and so on. You know, that includes the Jewish folks, that includes everyone, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Most people can't wait to get away from it. Look at them Mormon people who they have like a CIA sort of operations to get them away from the parents. You know, people who have had enough of it, like kids in the Mormon lives and that, and they want to get away from it. They have to escape, like, in aeroplanes and all kinds of stuff. So you can see where it's coming, like, we're getting this, like, ignore all that crap, you know, all that propaganda where it says, like, someone's not this enough or that enough, or what a pile of crap, man. What kind of world are we coming to? You got the girls all being skinny, starving themselves. They won't go out if they're not suntanned enough. You know what I mean? They've got to have a false tan, or this is an argument straight away, isn't it? Girls are actually paying to look like dark-skinned people. And their boyfriends are probably walking around going, all these coloured folks taking over. The absurdity of it, well, it really is insane. Anyway, I'm going to upload this speech as fast as I can. I thought I'd put it out. It's just an important message. I want people to realise that if anyone's going to be racialist in my life, you shouldn't be talking to me. You know, if you know Bruce Williams, right, so you shouldn't be racialist. You should have been over that fence by now. Like, do you get me? Like, you know, the Chinese, they, you know, you never hear me saying like the Chinkies and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's Philistine. The whole thing is Philistine, and I just keep thinking of that. I keep getting flashbacks of that the Queen as a little girl like that, like with her mother, like, you know, with the Queen mother as well, and the old man as well standing there, isn't it? Like, I'm doing that. Check it out. Go on YouTube and check out, like, say, like the Queen doing a fascist salute. It's kind of strange, isn't it? But anyway, I think I'll get off now. You know, so they're all the same, aren't they? Hitler and all them people. They all seem to have the same mindset, don't they? You know, the whole eyes aren't white there. You see the whiteness of my eyes, guys. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the same as everyone else's. White are the eyes. Forget about the colour. Think of the whiteness in it for a change, isn't it? Just think of the whiteness of the eye for a change. Anyway, I think I'm done. If I've got anything else to add to this issue, which I didn't want to have to go into, guys, I didn't want to have to talk about it because I'm sitting in my room. I mean, honestly, you can hear the echo in this room and the acoustics and that, right? I'm in a block of flats, right? There's people above, people below. I haven't really got neighbours either side, you know, to my living room as such, but I feel weird doing this, you know what I mean, talking. That's why I've been working on my computer and that. And also I've got like a little microphone I can sort of whisper and everything, like. If anyone can't understand me, by the way, you know, because of my Birkonian, it's not Scouse, it's Birkonian, my Birkenhead accent, I'll try and get some subtitles, sort of. Well, yeah, if anyone agrees with me, guys, or disagrees with me, I'd love to hear your comments on this issue. I'd love to really hear what you've got to say about. Do you agree with me on, you know, the fascist? Because as far as I'm concerned, the Holy Spirit judges no one. You know, we're all exactly the same. There could be people from any country in the world having a better life than me because they're better than me, because they're more righteous than me. They sin less. They don't do as much to other people. Don't do as much drugs. They don't drink as much as me or whatever. Not that I do drugs. I only do legal highs and things like that. Like. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm getting off. I've got to get this out as fast as I can. Like, I've got to upload it normal style. It takes me ages. My broadband speeds are ridiculously slow, folks, so it'll take a while. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is my first upload in black and white, monochrome. So you don't have to see any colour. My eyes are like, just, I don't know what colour my eyes are on black and white. They would just be grey, won't they? Make them purple or something like that. Yeah, there's anything I missed out. But this racialism thing, it's leading up to what I'm getting at with my moon speeches, right, guys? There's a lot of issues about the moon. I still haven't got round to it because it's such a complicated subject that I'm going to be covering. In that video, I will be putting all the clips in and stuff, you see, so certain clips to explain stuff. But yeah, one of my old school, old style speeches. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments below. No. Stone him, he's got a spare tyre. Alright, folks. Thanks for watching.